Hi, hello, vanakkam, and welcome back to yet another episode on your favorite Little Slaw YouTube channel. So today in this video, we're going to see about what is Playwright and how to install Playwright in your machine. So firstly, let's see what is Playwright. So Playwright is a tool which is made by Microsoft that helps developers to control and test the website automatically. And Playwright works with browsers like Chromium, Firefox, and WebKit, and developers write JavaScript code to open new browser pages to visit different websites and interact with things on the page. Like, for example, it can be a click event, a click button, clicking a button, or filling out of forms. Since Microsoft Edge is based on Chromium, Playwright can also control Microsoft Edge. So, for example, in some scenarios, you might need to click a button or to enter a form where you might not be able to capture that using other tools. So that is possible using tools or using the Playwright. So by default, Playwright starts as a headless browser. So what is headless browser? So headless browser is one that runs without showing anything on the screen, which is there is no visible window. So you can only use this through the command line. But Playwright can also run a regular visible version of Microsoft Edge if needed. Okay, so that's about a quick introduction about what is Playwright. And uh, before we move on to the next part, this is me, Vasan Shanmugam. I welcome you all to our Little Slaw YouTube channel. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you haven't subscribed yet. And please do give a thumbs up if you like this video and share the video with your friends. And please do join my channel for more information, informative and interesting videos. And in fact, for the last 2 days, I was sharing the most frequently asked question in the interview. So if you haven't watched it, please do watch that as well. And yeah, let's go to the content now. So now we'll see why we have to use Playwright for web automation. So Playwright, we all know it's a great tool for web automation because it works on many different browsers and platforms, and it handles very tricky tests, and also it offers powerful debugging tools. So the first reason or the first choice why Playwright is a favorite tool for web automation or web testing is it works everywhere. Yes, Playwright works everywhere. That is, it works with popular browsers like Chrome, Firefox, Safari, and you can use it on Windows, Linux, and Mac OS. It also supports several coding languages, which includes Java, JavaScript, Python, and .NET. For example, you can write the same code to test a website on different browsers without needing to change anything. So just imagine how flexible the tool is or how flexible the Playwright is, right? And next thing is it is less flaky and it is reliable. It's more reliable for tests. For example, Playwright waits for things on the page. So when I say waits, it can be it waits for buttons to be ready before interacting with them, because even before the button is ready and if you click, if you want to click on something, actually the actual execution will not happen. So the Playwright has the flexibility to wait for things on the page like buttons to be ready before interacting with them. So this action or this feature of Playwright helps to prevent errors that happen when elements are slow to load. And if a test fails, Playwright can retry automatically, making tests more reliable without needing to set manual timeouts. For example, if you're testing and in that scenario, if a login button takes time to show up, Playwright wait instead of rushing and causing a test failure. So that's the reason I told you it is less flaky and it's more reliable for tests. And next thing is it tests the test actually stays separate. So what does it mean? The test stays separate. So each test or the complete test isolation. So each test that we run, it run on its own browser environment, so they don't interfere with each other, and it's like having a brand new browser for each test. So you can also save login info to avoid logging in repeatedly. For instance, you can test a checkout process in one tab and a login process in another without them affecting each other. So this is another feature, or this is the reason why Playwright is commonly used for web automation. And then Handling complex testing. Playwright allows you to test very complicated scenarios like handling multiple browser tabs, simulating different users, or dealing with hidden parts of a website. For example, you can test how a website works when a user logs in from two tabs at once or interacts with pop-ups. So the pop-ups, yeah, when I say pop-ups, most of the times when we are dealing with any application, we face issues with the pop-ups because some of the tools, unlike most of the tools, do not record the pop-ups, but Playwright handles that in a very easy manner. So that's another reason why Playwright for web automation. And then finally, when it comes to debugging, so it's a very great debugging tool. It's not good, but it's a very great. So how it's is it great? So Playwright makes debugging easy with tools like Playwright Inspector, which lets you see what's happening during a test step by step. Because it offers code gen, which can automatically write test scripts for you, and trace viewer, which shows you detailed information about test runs. So you can even get videos, screenshots, snapshots of the web page to help figure out what went wrong. For example, if a test fails, you can watch a video to see exactly what happened. So just imagine even this feature is not in any of the other tools which are in the market. So these are some of the ways where you can easily debug your issues, right? So now we'll move on to the next part. So in the next step, we are going to install the Playwright. But before that, we'll see the architecture of Playwright, like how does architecture of the Playwright works, and how does the Playwright is actually playing its role. So think of Selenium and Playwright as two ways of talking to a robot that can control a browser. So Selenium works like this. Okay, so every time you want the robot to do something like opening a browser, click a button, and or type in a text box, you send a separate message like sending an email. The robot reads the message, does what you ask, and then sends you a reply like receiving an email back. So, since you're sending lots of individual messages, it takes longer and there are more chances of mistakes. But when it comes to Playwright, what happens is Playwright keeps things very simple. So instead of sending a separate message every time, it stays connected to the robot the whole time like a phone call. So you tell the robot what to do, listens, and it responds quickly. Since it's all happening on one connection, which is one phone call, the things are getting faster and there is less room for things to go wrong. So, for example, in Selenium, if you want the robot to open a browser and type in a search bar, it's like sending one email to open the browser, a second email to click the search bar, a third email to type the text. Whereas in Playwright, it's like making one phone call where you say everything at once. Open the browser, click the search bar, and type the text. And because Playwright keeps the connection open, things happen faster and there are like very fewer chances of errors. So that's the difference between Selenium and Playwright, and that's how the Playwright actually works. So on a technical note, instead of connecting with each driver, which is each web driver through separate WebSocket connection, Playwright uses or Playwright relies on a single WebSocket connection to communicate with all the drivers. That means it remains in place until all the testing is finished, but it uses again it always use the single WebSocket. So this allows the commands to send quickly on single connection, which reduces the point of failure. So again, this Playwright is more compatible in terms of communicating with the web drivers using the uh, s- uh, through the WebSockets. So now we'll move on to the next step. So the next thing is going to the extensions and search for Playwright. And here you have to install the very first Playwright one. So just Playwright test for Vscode. And once you install it, go to the top on the command panel and type install Playwright. And that should actually install Playwright for you. But here, since I haven't opened a Playwright folder, let me first open a folder for that. So let me open a empty folder because it wants me to initialize the playwright using a one particular folder. Even it can be empty folder, but still it wants a folder. So let me select a folder. So once I select the folder, automatically the playwright has got installed. So let me even try it again. So let me install playwright again. And now, yes, so you can see um, you have to choose the browsers which you would like to run your tests on, and these can be later configured in the playwright.config, which you can see it in the folder where you have created. And also you can choose whatever you like if you want to have your GitHub Actions workflow, you can even choose it where you can run your tests using the CI/CD, the continuous integration, continuous deployment part. And yes, so let me just go and select everything. So use JavaScript. TypeScript is the default, but yeah, let me select the JavaScript as well. And I'm going to select my Chromium, the Firefox WebKit, and I'm going to use JavaScript and add GitHub Actions workflow. And I click on OK, and that will install whatever the basic settings which I wanted to install with the Playwright. Yep, now it's downloading the browsers, and let's wait until the installation gets completed, and after that we'll have to open the testing sidebar, which we will check it very soon. So now we have successfully installed the Playwright, and when clicking on the testing sidebar, so when you click on the testing sidebar, or the one that you can see on the left side, so this will give you access to the test explorer where you can see all the tests in your project, as well as the Playwright sidebar that includes the project settings, tools, and the setup. Like you can see the projects with Chromium, the Firefox, the WebKit, and also you can do the settings like you can show the browser, you can show trace viewer, you can also use tools like pick locator, you can record new, and you can record at cursor. You can so when I click on record, automatically the record window started popping up. And then if you want, you can select let me just explain it. Yeah, so record at cursor, and then you can also reveal the test output. And then finally you can see the setup where you can run the global setup, and you can run global teardown, and that finally you can do clear cache. So in this first video, we saw about what is Playwright, the architecture, and how to set up the Playwright, how to install the Playwright. In our next video, we'll see how to record your first test script for Playwright. So until I meet you in my next video, it's bye bye from Vasan Shanmugam and your favorite Little Slaw YouTube channel. Take care and bye bye.